Good evening or afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I have with me tonight one of the finest gentlemen you'll find in the community, All-American Prepper. And today we're going to talk about the gaps and basically being prepared for what's coming. So how are you today, brother?
Doing good, doing good.
So
Every day above ground's a good day.
Amen to that, brother. So let's say hi to everyone. Loretta and Triple Threat, hello, hello. Candy as well. And wait, too many. Oh man, the chat went by real quick. Hold on a second. Vision and Joe Morgan, how are you today? It's good to see you, sir. And there's Shift again. Ola. Let's see, anyone else new sneak in on us? And True American Loretta, hello. TNT. And Joe, yes. For everyone who's reached out, as you know, Joe's had a rough month to say the least, and all the notes, emails, and donations that meant something. So, Joe, thank you for that. And well, folks, we'll get started.
A little bit on my end.
Everybody gets in here. So, how do we sound and how do we look? Can you all hear us and see us? I got a 5x5 or.
You see me, but that could just be me.
Yeah, we can see each other. I want to be sure they can see. Oh, we're good and good. Awesome.
Oh, there we go. All right.
All right. Good deal. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will get started. So, All-American, why don't you just introduce the channel, what you're about, your background, whatever you feel appropriate to let everyone know about you.
I'm All-American Prepper. I focus on defense, especially with a knife, foraging, primitive living. I live off-grid for the last 6 years. Train. Live as if everything went down now, so when it does go down, you know what to do. I've been living off-grid for 6 years, so I wouldn't even know except for the internet going down.
Yep. And that it's funny because you think about it, that would be the last thing you'd worry about is the internet going down. Then you'd say something's happened. For some people, the internet going down gives them a heart attack. I mean, what do you think the mentality of some of these folks are out there?
I think when it gets real, even a lot of so-called preppers, they're not going to mentally be able to handle it, and they're going to do something very foolish. Most people are going to die of stupidity of drinking bad water.
Yeah. Infection, bad water.
Yeah. That's why JASE Medical, stock up on JASE Medical. I got plenty of that. Antibiotics, stockpile that stuff.
Yep.
Water purification. 1 is none, 2 is 1. Boots, good pellet guns. You just need to get with it, and you need to get started. If you're starting now, you're really starting kind of late.
Yeah.
Just the price of everything.
Yeah, and granted, better late than never.
Yes.
But it's going to cost you more now.
Way more. Yeah. Chicken I bought a year ago, canned chicken, it's 3 times as much as what I paid for it.
That's the truth, brother. And you just went through the hurricane over there in Florida, did you not?
Oh, it was brutal in my area. Everybody lost their roof except for me because I live in a bunker. I was the only one that had any power because I got solar and I got it protected. I got plexiglass over top of it, and then I sheeted it with that anti-glass breaker.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so anything falling and hitting it didn't hurt my solar at all. So I'm nice and quiet in my little bunker, and nobody even knows I'm in there. I can see out, but they can't see in. Nobody knows if I'm home or if I'm not unless I walk out there. And
All
they
right.
got to get past them dogs.
How did the neighborhood fare?
Terrible. Everybody's houses got tore up. Even the block homes, roofs, they lost their roofs. We got hit hard where I was at. We're still cleaning up. But I got a lot of wood and a lot of acorns. So that's a lot of food for
you were
me.
telling me about those acorns. What are you using them for? Because I'm super curious.
I make pancakes out of them.
You make like a flour out of them?
Yep. I crack them open. I do it. You can do it the hard way. I do it the easy way. I put a whole bunch of them between two blocks. I smash a whole bunch of them, dump them in a 5-gallon bucket, fill it up with water. All the shell floats to the top.
Right.
All the nut stays to the bottom. I skim the shell off. Then I soak it in cold water 24 hours, change it 3 times to get all the tannin acid out of it.
Right.
Then I let it dry out, powder it up, makes great pancakes, bread. It's basically flour. And it's very nutritious.
I'm going to have to watch that video again because that is hellaciously interesting.
Wow, everybody will be starving to death. I'm literally going to be eating the weeds.
And the acorn does have quite a bit of protein, if I recall, because I know those bucks up in the northeast U.S. are big because of the damn acorns.
Surprisingly, somebody imported a lot. If you want a deer down here, just let Little Miss Prepper drive your truck.
They're everywhere, huh?
And she hits them with a truck.
Oh, there you go.
Then I got to clean them. And smashes up the front end of the truck. I'm like, man, I get so mad at her for hitting a deer out here.
Yeah. Although that is a good meat, Paul. Joe, acorn flour is old world. Yeah.
It's delicious. It's really good.
Yeah. And Bug Out says they're a multi-purpose kind of nut. And no doubt. And they also attract rodents and other animals.
I'll eat anything. I do not care. It don't matter to me. If you watch Naked and Afraid, I'm eating rats. I'll eat anything. I really don't care.
Yeah, well, it may come to that the way things are going. Now, are you seeing a lot of the infections? They're trying to make this big panic about, skin infection. Every time there's a hurricane, during Harvey, you get basically crap in the water and people get exposed and they get infections. Are you seeing a lot of that? Are the folks kind of managing that well?
Well, I haven't seen anybody with any problems with that. Haven't seen none at all. And I filter my water 4 times, so I'm good. But I haven't seen anybody get sick from it.
Yeah. I like Joe's idea. Stock up on 22 shorts for your revolver. Actually, we're an air gun, a good air gun to do it.
Air gun, nice and quiet. It doesn't attract attention.
Yeah. You got that little pop. That's it.
That's it.
But so going to what you were saying earlier, we were talking about the cost of food, and right now you couldn't get good food at the store. You're foraging right now. I guess a lot of folks who are just getting started, what do you think they should be thinking of if they're starting right now?
Buy as much canned meat as you can. Get you some dry beans, good pair of boots, good knives, pellet rifle, lots of pellets. 1 is none, 2 is 1. So get 2 of everything in case something breaks. Get a motorcycle if you can not get killed riding it because it doesn't hardly use any fuel. And, if you know a good bike crew that ain't into that Sons of Anarchy crap, join a crew, because some of us bikers, we're pretty hard hitters.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
You got to have a mag team. A lone man is easy prey.
This is true. And how were you all?
Safety in numbers.
What about training, like stuff people can learn on their own? Anything you think they could start practicing now? Like you said, training?
All they got to do is go to my playlist. I have foraging playlists. I have knife fighting playlists. I got multiple playlists. It shows how to do all that on my channel.
Okay.
And I generally, I don't talk about politics. We can't control what these idiots running this country are doing. We can't
Yeah.
control that. What we can control is our environment. I control my environment. All besides all these damn mosquitoes. But anyway,
Well, yeah.
I control my environment. And that's the best thing to do is, food, water filtration, potassium iodine. If you think this thing's going to go nuclear, which I do, but that's just my opinion.
At some level, it may.
They're going to keep backing old crazy Baca man into a corner, and it's only a matter of time. Hell, he's 71 years old. Average lifespan of a man over there is 70. So what has he got to lose?
He's thinking his legacy now.
Yeah.
Not his life, but his legacy.
Yeah. It's going to end bad. NATO keeps pushing and pushing him. We shall see.
That's the truth. And so, in light of that, as far as medical, you mentioned something like a JASE, antibiotics.
And Core makes a great medic
CORE?
bag. KROE.
Okay.
They make a good medic bag. I started to bring it with me because I'm at a different location where my internet actually works, because when I was on the Angry Prepper, I couldn't hear a damn thing he was saying. But but I'm at a place now that's actually dug into the side of a hill. So
yeah,
it's my go-to spot if shit gets. Refuge Medical's got good stuff too.
Oh yeah, for sure. And even if they don't, they could still. Do you have a video on putting together a first aid kit if they can't find something local?
No, I just go ahead and let the professionals do it, and I get it from them. And then I add to it. The first thing people need to learn is learn how to use a tourniquet. I mean, it is irresponsible to walk around without a tourniquet. For God's sakes. Mm-hmm. I have saved so many lives with a tourniquet in my business and my line of work. And I carry multiple tourniquets because I don't want to choose who's going to bleed to death and who ain't.
No. And make sure you get a good one.
Cat.
Yeah. I'm going to have to replace some of mine. I found one that worked fine and one that didn't. So I'm like, But I keep one in my truck because one of my corpsmen, it was a mixed unit, Army Marines, and we had a corpsman come over, and he said, keep one in your pickup because, hell, you could get shot, or you'd be driving down the road and see someone flipped over and the guy's got a, rebar through him. You might save a man's life, save your own if you get in a wreck. So, yeah, that's...
I keep 3 in my vehicle. I keep 3. Yeah, cat. That's a good one. That's the one I prefer. I keep 3 in my vehicle, mm-hmm. and Quick Clot always. Mm-hmm. And learn how to do it. Refuge Medical, they teach a course that is really good. I put Little Miss Prepper through it because they actually train you under pressure.
Right.
And it's a great course. It's one of the best courses I've ever taken, honestly. I've taken a lot of courses, and that one really was one of the best I've taken.
Yeah, no, and that kind of training is invaluable, because I can't. I'm sure you could have stories too. How many times we'll go to a kid's game, and a kid gets wiped out and he's bleeding, and nobody had a first aid kit except for me in the truck.
Yeah, I carry mine usually always on me. You are your first responder. People need to understand that. You are your first responder.
Oh yeah.
You
I
know,
mean,
and this
mhm.
people just, oh, I'm not going to carry, and this unarmed and helpless is unarmed and helpless, and I'll never understand that. That's just stupid.
And yeah, and I know a lot of folks may not legally be able to have certain things or others depending on where you live, but there's something you can do for
Carry a
heaven's
knife.
sake.
Even a 4-year-old kid knows how to cut a steak.
Mhm. Well, I know growing up where I did, you ever play stickball?
Yes.
Okay, remember those days? It was basically a dowel from hell. It was about an inch and a quarter thick. Man, you could cut them in half, and you had some fighting. You had collie sticks, or you had a short sword, depending on how you were using it. But man, a good that makes for a good whacker. If I mean, that's better than sitting there covering your head.
Carry a knife, man. Oh, you might have to cut a seat belt off. You just never know what you need it for.
Yeah.
You know, people come to me at the club where I bounce at, the managers, and they're like, let me use your knife. And I'm like, why don't you have your own? You know how many knives get pulled on us up there and you ain't got one? And I recommend everyone go ahead and buy your body armor before they make it illegal.
Hmm.
That has saved my life so many times. And I recommend Spartan body armor. That seems to be the best that I have found.
Now, you going with the metal plates, the ceramic, or the
Metal.
polymer?
I'm going with the metal plates. The reason why the ceramics, they have a shelf life of 5 years.
Okay. And I was curious about that because in undergraduate, we were doing experiments. It was, engineering stuff, but some of the synthetic stuff, if you didn't heat it or cool it right, or it was out of its packaging too long, it would fail.
Yeah,
And
but
it
that
would
metal
fail
ain't going to
epically.
fail. That metal is not going to fail you.
No, no,
And
but that's a good point.
Spartan body armor level 3 plus is great. Because I've been hit with AK-47 with that stuff, and it hurt, but I
Well,
didn't
yeah.
die.
Well, having a cracked rib's better than having a hole in you.
You're damn right it is. I hate packing wounds. I will if I have to, but I hate packing a wound.
Oh, yeah.
But that
Well,
body armor is a lifesaver. I mean,
and that kind of goes to the second question, the gaps. You talked about the quick clot, the cats, the body armor, making sure you have some kind of self-defense weapon with you. What about training? Because you were a fighter at one point professionally.
yeah, a pro MMA fighter and a pro boxer.
Okay, so if
It's a good
someone's new, how do you recommend they start learning about that?
go to your local MMA school and sign up because you will be put under pressure. And who knows, you may enjoy it. I love it. I love it. Even to this day, at my age, I still step in that cage and beat the crap out of these young guys. When they find out, because my coach tries to set them up, not let them know they're fighting me. But a lot of times, Little Miss Prepper's right here. As soon as they find out they're fighting me, what do?
They go and have a drink and say they can't fight.
They a lot of them, I get so pissed because I make weight. And they're like, what? Because my fight name is called Boca. They're like, what? I got to fight Boca? Hell no. I ain't fighting that crazy bastard. And they'll go get a drink in front of the boxing commission because if they see you drinking alcohol, you can't fight. And they
Oh
will on
Lord.
purposely drink that alcoholic beverage in front of the commissioner. So they say, oh, no, I can't fight. And then I'm mad as hell because I done made weight, done trained, did fight camp.
Mm-hmm.
And, you got these tough guys. She's seen it so many times. They think they're badasses, and I'm not a tough. Well, I guess I am, but
Well, you're
not
tougher
no
than a
tough.
lot I know, that's for sure.
I just walk through it, no matter how hard I get hit, I just walk right through it. You know, I've had my whole side of I got a video where a whole side of my face is caved in, and I still beat the living hell out of that guy.
Oh yeah.
And
She seen it. My eye orbital socket was broken here and
Oh.
here and here. I was all bad, and I beat that guy so bad they had to call the ambulance on his ass.
Man, I gotta tell you, next time I'm in Florida, if I'm passing through, I'm gonna have to find where y'all work and just have a drink and sit there and watch.
Oh man, we got 100 beautiful ones and 3 ugly ones. So
I'll tell you what, because that's good Lord. Yeah, I mean, people don't realize it can get hand to hand very quickly. You may not get that pistol out.
you may have to fight just to get to your pistol. A lot of people, they go, oh, I got a gun, I don't need to train. Man, I will punch somebody right there and knock them slap out before they can even touch their hip. If they don't know to put their hands up, you know, if they don't know to put their hands up and then draw, they're out. And guess what? That gun is mine then.
Well, they're on the floor. Hell, their underwear is up for grabs at that point.
A lot of people don't realize it, but a good solid hit right here or right here, and it's good night.
Oh, right here, right above the mandible.
It's good night.
Oh man, even if you got headgear on and you're training, you're gonna see stars.
I've been knocked out so many times. I've been knocked out and still standing up and shake it off and still march through it.
Yep.
She's seen it. Come here, girl.
Yeah.
She's seen it. She seen me knocked out, standing up, shake it off, and still charging.
And the coach had to be like, no, you were just knocked out.
And I'm like, I'm good now, and I'm going to hurt him. He shouldn't have hit me that hard.
But you know what?
I love it. I actually get excited when I get punched in the face. A lot of people, they shut down. I'm like, oh, you know, working in security, when somebody punches me, I'm like, you just gave me permission to do whatever I've been wanting to do all night because you've been a.
I like Mad Chad. He says, man, you knock him down, give him a wedgie.
Do whatever you want to do. I ain't even going to tell you some of the things I've said and done. I've had people call me derogatory words. So I'd be like, oh, we're going by prison rules now. Pull his britches down. He's mine. And you ought to see them. They start squirming and jumping around because they think I'm really going to do it.
But I bet they don't mess with you ever again if they ever come back.
No, they. I got quite a reputation around here. Like when the guy tried to rob me, Grady Judd, I'm sure everybody knows who Grady Judd is. Mm-hmm. The sheriff of Polk County. He put a big old thing on Facebook, you know, robbing a robber because the dude robbed me. I beat the hell out of him and robbed his ass.
Took his money back.
Took my money back and what he had on him.
You know, and I'm sitting there thinking, if I was the responding police officer, how do I react to that? It's like, well, he started it and he technically took your stuff. And do I even, do I even report that? Just say, nah, he just beat up the mugger, and just, if you made out with an extra $100, it's good on you. I'll take him in.
Down here in Polk County, somebody's going to jail. So they took him to jail. I mean, Grady don't play. I mean, Polk County, somebody's going to jail. Nowhere.
But you know what? I bet that keeps the stupid to a minimum as far as the general public, because they know there's a consequence, huh?
Yeah, he keeps it the best he can, but we got a bad methamphetamine problem down here.
Is it bad?
It's bad. It's real bad. That's when everybody was evacuating their homes during the hurricane, they knew. They're like, oh, all American, he's staying his ass in a bunker. He ain't got shit to worry about. They come on, hey, man, will you keep an eye on my place and make sure the meth heads don't stick? I'm like, I got you. And nothing come up messing around me.
No.
Because I kept an eye on people's places. Anybody come down that road right in the middle of hurricane weather, I'd walk right out there and go, you don't live here. Turn your ass around and get out of this neighborhood.
You know, I found out during Ike, one of my neighbors right across the street, they had a disabled son, right? And they said, hey, we're going to have to go. and he locked up his house. I said, don't worry about it. Just give me the key to the back gate so I can walk, make sure the back's good. And not 2 days after the storm passed, man, I see this guy, is redheaded guy in a hoodie, being just at twilight, not middle of the day. His vehicle wasn't marked like, cable or whatever. I'm like, oh no. So I just happen to be cleaning an over under. So I walk out with that double barrel, and I just went around the corner. I said, hey brother, can I help you? That poor guy actually turned out to be an AT&T hand. He had his little card on his chest. He about wet himself. I said, son, look, I know you're doing your job.
But they're so
people need
slick
to
down
see that
here that
shirt.
they'll wear a fake shirt down here. They are
I
slick.
believe it.
These meth heads are diabolically genius because they just sit there and think of how to get away with it. So
they can get more meth.
nobody can make it to my front door, but if someone can make it to your front door just because they got a official shirt on, if I don't know who it is, I wouldn't open the door. Period. I'm like,
Or if
hell.
you're not expecting.
Or especially if you're not expecting someone. You're not open. I'm not. But me, they got to get through 3 fences and 2 badass German shepherds to get to my door. And they're going to have to kill them dogs to get to my front door. And I'm going John Wick on their ass.
John Wick. The German shepherds, man, that's a lot of dog, but man, they are loyal. They are some of the best dogs for home defense.
They are. And I got them layered. I got German shepherd and the inner outside fence and a German shepherd on the inner fence.
There we go.
By the time you do, if you do, I'm going to feed them to the hogs.
Well, or the gators, depending on how close you are to the bayou.
Oh, we got gators. Gators, a gator is the easiest thing there is to catch around here. They're easy.
They're not bright. They're just mean.
I catch them on a top water plug. I just catch them on a top water plug with a leader line, reel them in, get them right up close and chop them right across the head with a machete. And they're done.
You don't do the shoot them lid the bits with the little 22, pop them in the back of the skull?
No, I don't shoot them. I just chop them right across the brain with a machete. They're done. Nice and quiet.
Mm-hmm. And I noticed that quiet thing is a thing you like to talk about. That's the less noise, no quiet generators, no lights visible, pellet guns. Yeah.
Like, for instance, when I'm not on YouTube, I really don't talk. I listen, I watch, and I observe. And I say to myself, and when you don't talk and you just listen and watch, you learn.
Yeah.
I pattern people. I watch how people move. I can stand at the front door and watch people coming in, and I already know who I'm going to end up throwing out that night just by the way they hold themselves and by the way I can just always tell.
Right, but that's what you do now is all you do is people watch and then remove stupid ones.
Yeah, and I enjoy it too. And see those girls, they call me dad. And I don't mess with them girls. That's what gives me a leg up. I got a young, beautiful wife. I ain't messing with them girls. And they know that. So, they love me for that. And they literally do call me dad because it is like babysitting. Go put some clothes on, stop touching her. It's literally like put your shoes on. I mean, it's like babysitting. But when one of those girls turn around and go, Dad, this guy did, you should see the look on the guy's face when they really think I'm that girl's dad. They're like, oh, shit, that's her dad, and I just did this.
And I bet they get confused when you're like, you have to leave, and they don't compute it right away, do they?
No, I just tell them straight up. You got choice A, you can walk out. Choice B, I can drag your ass out. And you'd be surprised how many of them choose B. And I love it when they do, because I'm like, oh, you just made my night, man. I've been bored all night. Now I get to drag your ass out, kicking and screaming, and now slam your ass out on the concrete. I got anger issues. Don't mess with me.
Nope. Nope. I was in New Orleans and I watched the bouncer Spartan kick a girl, had smacked him twice, and he let the first one fly and kind of shushed her out. And I was with a group of my friends, and then she turned around, threw a bottle at him, and hit him the second time, and he put a foot in her chest, and she went straight across half of Bourbon Street. And then he looked, and here comes the PD, walks over. He saw it all. He's like, I got her. Picked her
Yeah.
up, and she went into the blue van. Away she went.
The girl that beat you in the
But
With
she
the
didn't come
women, I
back.
just hit them with the mace. I just hit them with the bug spray.
That's it. Lights out.
Yeah, they just start crying. Oh, I can't believe you did that to me. And I was like, bitch, you shouldn't have hit me. If you'd have been a man, I've done you a lot worse than spray you with that bug spray.
And you know what's funny? That spray is very effective if you catch someone off guard.
Oh, yeah.
I
love it.
If you have no other choice in weapons, that's not a bad one.
No, it's a good one. I always suggest carry the good stuff.
Yeah.
Go down and get the kind that the Leos carry.
Mm-hmm. The OC.
Yep. Because I've literally sprayed a man and he pooped in his pants that hit him so hard.
Well, I guess he shouldn't have been out causing trouble if his stomach was in that
No,
condition.
he was real ass. He was being an ass, but he was older, so I didn't want to beat him up, so I just sprayed him.
So, all right. So, question 3, you were talking to me about home garden. So we're going to change gears here, brother. Although this, we're going to have to do a live again because the stories you're telling me are just awesome.
Tip of the iceberg, brother.
Yeah, I can imagine. Foraging, home garden. You said you got big into gardening and you also love foraging. So again, I've been seeing a lot of people in the chats. They're getting, especially the new folks, they're getting freaked out. They're getting sad. They're panicking. And we're all telling them, no, that ain't the way you do it. You got to start somewhere.
Garden.
Start that garden.
Gardening is peaceful. It's wonderful to put a seed in the ground and water it and watch it grow. You know, that's my chill spot is when I'm gardening. You know, I go in my garden and I don't let that dog run off. I go in the garden and that's where I relax is when I'm gardening or when I'm hunting because I'm nice and quiet. You know, and I like to stalk hunt. I cannot sit my ass in a tree stand all day. So I stalk hunt.
Okay, do you use a bow and arrow, a rifle?
Bow and arrow.
Compound?
Quiet. I like quiet. I don't like, I'm good with a rifle. Hell, I got sniper tattooed on my chest. But I just like using a bow. It's more of a challenge. And it's quiet. You can literally shoot a big buck or whatever you want to shoot. And they can be one just a little bit further away and you can get that one too. But if you fire that gun off, man, everything runs away. Yeah. With that bow, you can just drop as many as you feel like cleaning.
I had a coworker, a good friend down in South Texas. He had a stand and he had his feeder out. He was waiting for a buck, but the javelinas kept coming up and chewing up his food. So he got annoyed and he plinked the javelina with the bow and arrow, right? Down he goes. He wasn't paying attention. It was so quiet. He walked up on the first one and all of a sudden 4 heads popped out. He said those damn little pigs run him up his own pickup truck. And,
these boars down here will tear your ass up. These razorbacks, they will.
Oh, well, you got those 300-pound monsters down there.
Yes. Matter of fact, I just had one. See these guys down here, they'll catch them when they're piglets and they'll cut their ears off. And you just made a dog killer. And
Oh, of
so the
course.
dogs can't catch them if they ain't got no ears on them. So those are the ones that I hunt. When there's a dog killer hog, they call me and go, yo, man, there's a dog killer out here. I go and spear hunt them. I literally know how to get close enough to spear them. And it's just all about being quiet in the dark. I know how to hunt them in the dark by the moonlight, and I just spear them. And it's so much fun. And, you know, bacon's good.
Oh, hell yeah. So are you using for your footwear? I had a buddy who used to love stalk hunting up in the mountains in Pennsylvania, and he actually used moccasins.
Yes.
Handmade moccasins. He said he tried boots, he tried sneakers, and somebody told him, man, I got some moccasins. He actually went, he was out west, and he actually got handmade moccasins. And he said, every year I order a new pair because nothing compares.
Boots are too noisy. But down here, we got so many cottonmouths and so many rattlesnakes. There's a lot of times you better off wearing snake boots. But if you're going to do a stalk, I just go barefooted. Is really the way to go. But my feet are really tough. I walk around.
Yeah, I was going to say you had to condition your feet for that.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying real hard to get on that show alone, you know, so I'm a pretty hard guy. You know, I even want to be on that show naked and afraid. You know, my bottom of my feet are like leather. We got a game warden out here, and we know it's the game warden because you'll see barefoot tracks, and he walks around barefooted. You never, ever hear him until he's tapping you on your shoulder going, let me see your license.
That's a good game warden, though. He knows his job.
Oh, he gonna catch you. If you're poaching, he gonna catch you. I guarantee you.
But there's plenty of hunting where you don't have to poach, right? The pigs are year-round down there, aren't they?
Yeah, year-round, man. You have to watch out. I got to watch out to make sure I don't hit one on my bike. Because, you know, I run a big bike crew and I ride my motorcycle. You know, I rode my bike where I'm at right now. And on the way home, I got to ride easy because I'll hit a hog on the way home. I mean, it literally... They're vermin down here. They're everywhere where I live. These big golf courses, they just tear them to pieces, man.
Oh, man. We were getting them in the damn subdivisions in Houston.
Here, too. They're everywhere.
Are y'all getting coyotes, too?
There's no reason for anyone to go hungry down here. There's wild hogs everywhere.
And they breed all year. They're not like the other animals.
No, they tear your yard all up. I mean, they're a nuisance, and I kill them and grill them, man. You know, I don't. The only food I buy is canned meat, and I can can it in mason jars myself.
Yeah,
but it's just easier for me just to go down and buy canned chicken and put it back. You know, I got chickens and rabbits. I got all that, but. Okay. The price of food to feed your animals is ridiculous now. Yep. But luckily for rabbits, you can grow all your own rabbit food. Little Miss Prepper's got her rabbits. We grow all the rabbit food.
So what breed of rabbit do you all have?
What you got mainly?
New Zealand mixed with Californian.
New Zealand mixed with Californian.
Okay, my son raised rabbits for FFA. I'm trying to remember what they look like.
They're big, the biggest.
They're the biggest breed rabbits there are.
Are they the big white ones? They got like a little black stripe on the snout?
Yeah. They got so much meat.
Broilers.
They got so much meat on them, you know, compared to bone. They're the number one meat rabbit.
Okay. So how do you keep the pigs and the foxes and all the other critters out of your rabbits? You got a pen for them?
Shoot them.
You shoot. So the dogs bark and you go out and be done with it.
The dogs bark and I go up. I get the bow out and spike them. And I go, damn it, now I got to clean a hog tonight.
I like that. I missed out on Naked and Afraid because they were afraid to see me naked.
I would love to be on that show. I would rock it. I want to be on that show alone just because I like being alone. Everybody's like, oh, I miss my family and me. My wife can tell you there's times I'm like, look, just leave me the hell alone for a while. I like being alone. I got 10 million people living in my head already, so I'm good. I can entertain myself.
Yeah. Well, there's something to be said about solitude. I think this interconnected generation of very young folks, they don't know how to just be quiet.
No, they don't. That's why I always go, be quiet, watch and listen and learn. When you're talking, you can't learn. But my fight name is Boca, but the reason why is that's mouth in Spanish, because when I'm fighting, I'm talking the whole time where my opponent can't think, and I'm really talking really
So you're
mean.
going in his head too, or you're trying
Yes. Yes, and I'm telling him prison rules in this cage, baby. I go hard on them. They're terrified of me, really. Most
so
of them are.
if he don't have the discipline to tune you out and watch your hands, he's going to get a beating, basically.
Watch everything, hands, knees, feet, everything. And I'll take a penalty to win a fight. It's worth it to get docked a point to get a good headbutt in.
You have a question. Do you forage for your
I had a
rabbits?
question. Do you forage for your rabbits or use
Yes.
food pellets?
I forage for my rabbits and I grow the food. I do both.
Okay.
Because, a lot of people, I say I'm frugal. A lot of people call me tightwad. I just can't I ain't spending money on something that I don't need to. I'm just not doing it. I'm spending my money on pellets and pellet guns and Harley Davidson. I got my Harley, and I'm trying to save up to get more land. I'm building another bunker. I'm in the process of building a bigger bunker. So I spend my money. I don't go out to eat. I try not to buy anything. Like I said, I buy Sasquatch soap. I buy pellet guns. I buy pellets. But hell, even a lot of my bows and arrows I make myself. There's something very fulfilling to make that weapon and go get something with it.
See, and that's a talent a lot of people, well, first of all, a lot of people don't know how to shoot a firearm, much less use a bow and arrow or a spear properly. But yeah, being able to make that, then that's also a barter when you think about it. If there's something really bad happens, somebody will say, hey, I'll trade you, eggs or whatever they have. If you can make me 10 arrows, that's a heck of a trade.
And yeah, I can make any of that. It's keep it simple. The question is keep it simple. The KISS rule. The KISS rule. Keep it simple, stupid. We was always taught that. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even from being an engineer, the easiest solution was usually the best one.
Yeah.
When you got some overly educated potato in an office saying, no, you have to do these 20 steps, and we'd be out in the field in the rain and everything was, short circuited. I'm like, no, you know what? Screw this. We're fixing it. Get me duct tape and a screwdriver. We're going to fix it the right way.
Yeah, because you listen to those guys, they're going to get you killed. And you know that. You're like, man, you have never done this, and you're going to tell me how to do it.
Oh, yeah. No,
that's why where I work, management, as soon as there's anywhere I go and apply for security, I get hired right in. And I tell management, as soon as I said, before you hire me, do not tell me how to do my job. Because I've been doing this my whole life. And it's usually younger guys. And I'm like, look, man, why do you think the owners called me in? Because y'all don't know how to handle this shit. Because I charge more than a regular bouncer does.
Right.
I'm not risking my life because I literally get shot at, I get stabbed, I get cut, because I'm not afraid. I get out there in the parking lot with 4 or 5 of them, and I start with the biggest one and work my way down, and I'll take all their hits, and I just drop them. My wife has seen me go down, and I just get right back up and keep fighting. And she's just standing back watching, going, that crazy bastard.
So we were talking earlier about your solar and the generator. So for these newbies or even the experienced folks, shoot, because you've got advanced and beginners recommendations so far in this video, power options, because you made a good point. A generator's cheap, but they're loud. So
yeah,
what would you recommend to folks?
Solar, and get a generator that runs off gas for backup, or propane. They make generators that run off gas or propane now.
Yeah, I have one.
Yes. That way, if you can't get one, maybe you can get the other. Because down here after the hurricane, there was no gas. None.
Oh, yeah.
Anywhere.
There's
and
probably
you know
no
how many
propane
electric
either.
cars? You know how many electric cars I seen sitting on the side of the road? Because there was no electricity nowhere. I counted 18 electric cars sitting on the side of the road because they couldn't charge up.
No.
So
and then
I'm
they were
like,
catching fire when the salt water got in them.
yeah, they couldn't charge up where I'm at because there was no electricity for days. But they got the gas in way before they got the electricity up.
Oh yeah, no. Mad Dog, he got shot at a lot. He went overseas a few times too, if I recall correctly.
I've been hit and it hurts. That's why I carry tourniquets and quick clot, and I wear body armor. When I work as a bouncer, I wear my Spartan body armor, and I love it when some guy's not being very friendly and punches me in my chest, and he hits that metal plate, and I watch the bones pop out of his hand. I just look at him and go, that hurt, didn't it?
Well, the fight's over there. He's probably on the floor holding his
hand.
Yeah.
Oh, call the ambulance. I'm like, hell no, you drove your ass here. You drive your ass home.
That's a pendejo. Good Lord. Man, yeah, I wouldn't even know what to say to that. Just y'all boys drag them out. Leave them somewhere else. I don't want them here.
I drag them out so they don't get blood all over my club.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah,
that shit's slippery. I can't have my dancers slipping on blood.
No. Well, you don't want to fall on the blood neither.
No.
Somebody's got to clean it. So, yeah, no.
And I get, because I do get bled on a lot, I do wear glasses to keep from blood getting in my eyes.
Like safety glasses?
Yeah. To be an MMA fighter, you got to get AIDS and Hep tested once a year. Every single time I get my drawn blood, I get tested for AIDS and Hep every single time, because I have, because I have so many people bleeding on me all the time.
You know, that's an interesting topic. Is you think about it, in some kind of emergency, you could get bled on. It's not even you being hurt. Someone near you gets hurt or shot, and now you're dealing with their fluids and whatever contamination they have.
That's why I carry rubber gloves too.
Mm-hmm.
I got rubber gloves that I wear, because I have been out in the parking lot and seen somebody got jumped in the parking lot and bleeding out and tourniquet them up. But I put on my rubber gloves first, because I usually got busted knuckles and cuts and scratches all over my hands. Always yelled like a wildcat.
Oh yeah, no doubt. So you're thinking, as far as the solar options, they can DIY, or if they can find one and afford it, I guess a Jackery or that EcoFlow or whatever they're called.
Yeah, that's the best way to go. Is just start with what you can afford, learn how to use it, research it, and then grow it. You know, the more solar panels you got, the more juice you're going to be able to collect.
Yep.
And protect them panels. Like I said, get plexiglass and put over top of your panels so they don't get busted.
You know, it's funny. We got a lot of people in Texas. Texas is one of those states that has a lot of sun, especially in the western part because it's a little flatter. And I've seen some folks they don't have the backup batteries in the house. And I'm like, you just spent all that money. It's worthless because if the grid goes down, those panels will disconnect so they don't zap the lineman. You're not charging anything now.
Never underestimate the other person's stupidity.
That's the truth, brother.
People
But
are just out of touch with the world. That's why I live off grid. You know, I grow my own food. There's just a blessing in that. Foraging, fishing, hunting, you know, it's just a blessing in that.
there
It's
is.
just, it is.
I mean,
You know?
that's the way the ancient people lived, and they lived for a very long time without internet.
Yeah. The only reason why I use the internet is to come on YouTube. That's it.
Come commiserate with the rest of us as we watch that slow train wreck in society.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to teach people how to make it through this. I want Americans to make it through because hell's coming. It ain't stopping for nothing. If people can't see what's going on in this world, I'm sorry for them. But I've been in Bosnia. I have been in hell. And it's starting to happen here. I'm telling you, it is going to get bad. And people that are not ready for it, they're not going to make it. If they don't have a mag team, they're not going to make it. You got to have like-minded people and surround yourself with them.
Yep.
That's why I got into this bike crew, you know, because a bunch of combat veterans, we all ride Harleys, you know, and they all know how to shoot guns. You know, when I meet someone that's over 20 and they look at me and they're like, man, I've never been a fight in my life. And I'm like, how? Man, I was getting suspended in kindergarten for fighting. How in the hell do you go 20 years without getting in a fight? You must be a real fast runner. That's all I can figure. Especially down here. People just got bad tempers down here in the South.
Yeah. Well, we're less tolerant of stupid in the South, too.
Yeah, we don't put up with no shit. Don't start no shit. There won't be no shit. But people got to start it.
You know, it's funny. I was hearing Angry Prepper, and he's saying they're mugging grandmas in the street. I had a coworker, him and his spouse were in Denver, which is another awesome city. It used to be fun. And some guy come and hit his wife for no reason. He gets in a fight with the guy, and nobody helped. I mean, if you and I were having a coffee and we witness a man's wife get knocked to the ground,
I'm running over and beating the hell out of that guy.
I'm pretty confident we'd be on our feet pretty quick, headed that way, if nothing else, to pick the woman up, if not to stomp his ass.
Now, I'm going to stomp his ass.
And nobody helped, bud.
No, you know what they do? They break out their cell phones and start videoing.
They were telling him, don't hurt him. He has problems.
Oh, he's going to have problems. He's going to have reconstructive surgery hitting my wife. Be lucky if I don't kill. If somebody puts their hands on my wife, I'm probably, if this is a premeditated confession, I'm going to say it. I'm going to kill them.
Or you'll make them wish they're dead for sure.
Yeah, there's worse things than dying. I know how to break their back where they'll never walk again.
Oh, man. No, but, you know, it blows my mind. Hell, you know, there are a lot of folks, and a lot of the folks in the chat, you see someone get hurt, especially if they're not being stupid. You know, they get hit by a car or they have an accident. You try to help, at least call for help. And he said, nobody helped me, man. He said it was an old farmer and his wife from like Kentucky were visiting their grandkids or something. And he come and help them because nobody helped.
This is my SOS right here.
Yeah. But you know what? But you're right. If you have those bad things happen and people, you don't know how to fight, you don't know how to shoot or use a knife or whack someone with a stick, and you don't have a dog, what are you going to do?
You're going to die. That's what you're going to do. You're going to die. You're going to be a victim. You're either going to be predator or a prey. It takes a good man skilled at violence to stop an evil man skilled at violence.
Mm-hmm.
I have come to terms with that. I view myself as a good guy. I try to help people. I go out of my way. I give people the shirt off my back. When I kill hogs, because I do not use refrigeration at all, I take it down to the homeless part of town and I hand it out to the homeless people.
Yeah.
But I try to find veterans first. I help veterans first. And then anything left over, I give it out to the rest of the people.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of homeless. You know, there's people, it costs so much money. What was a $400 apartment 2 years ago?
Oh, what, $1,200 now?
Easy 1,200. You got people working 2 jobs and they're living in the campgrounds with their kids because they can't afford the rent.
No.
But the kids actually enjoy it. It's the parents that hate it.
And a lot of folks, I don't know, man. I don't know how folks on fixed income, the retirees, the disabled folks, on support, how they can find enough food. I mean, I went bought 4 things at the store. It cost me $40 to $50. It used to cost me $17.
That's why I don't do it. That's why I just grow my own. I figure also, the more I grow, the less pressure I'm putting on the supply chain.
True. And the less susceptible you are when the supply chain breaks.
Yeah. Yeah. Every tomato I grow leaves 1 tomato on the shelf for somebody that needs it.
And like you said, you can give it to other folks if they're in need.
Yeah.
You don't need it.
Right. A victory garden. Now it's time people start planting their victory gardens for this economic collapse that's happening.
Oh, yeah. We're watching it.
It's happening. For people that ain't seeing it, I don't know what to tell them. I don't watch the mainstream media because my wife says the newscaster, he can't hear what you're saying because I'll sit there and dog cuss them because they're lying so much. I had to throw my TV out in the yard and get rid of it because the mainstream media is not but propaganda anymore. The only truth you're going to get is here on YouTube.
Yeah, and bug out, food and $2.50 a month in food stamps. That'll barely get you a couple of weeks of food.
Yeah, that's why you grow your own. $2.50 will buy a whole bunch of seeds.
Mm-hmm. And it's better to start it now. I live down on the coast, and Houston, Florida, you get a lot of rain. It's warm. You can pretty much put you could put a quarter in the ground, it'll grow a money tree. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now I'm in West Texas, and stuff don't grow the same way. I've had stuff die. So I went to the university. They had the ag kids at the farmers market, and they said, we'll come back here next month. We're going to have handouts to explain what grows out here when.
That's a smart move.
Because I don't know. I'm an engineer. I'm not a farmer. And, it's important to know what you don't know and acknowledge it. So I'm gonna meet those ag kids at the next farmers market and collect some information and do a garden with knowledge.
Plants adapt to their environment. So if you can get some local grown seeds, mm-hmm. they'll grow better in that environment because they have adapted.
Yeah. And I was shocked, as dry and hot as it gets out here and as cold as the winters are, because we'll get ice. I mean, -5. Broccoli and zucchini grow great out here. I would never have thought. So now I'm completely confounded with what they told me. So
everything goes good down here in Florida. Corn, you always have a bug problem with it. I found just planting regular corn from the feed store that you would feed animals.
Yeah.
Is very edible, and it's much more bug resistant.
And you're growing stalks of corn.
Yeah.
You just spread the feed corn down.
Yeah. And the deer come up, and I just step right up on my front porch and put an arrow right in the one I want.
And now you got a deer. Now you have a harvest.
And I just slow smoke it and turn it into jerky because I do not use refrigeration. I live as much off grid as I can. You got so many people that when the power went out, they lost all their meat in their freezer. And I'm like, all you had to do was take it outside and slow smoke it. There's wood laying everywhere.
Mhm.
Salt, a lot of preppers don't forget to prep salt. You need it.
Yeah.
When you run out of that canned food, because you're going to run out of food, no matter how much you put back, unless you're a millionaire, you got to salt that food. It makes it last longer. Now, the canned stuff got plenty of salt in it, but when you go getting your own, you got to have that. And down here in Florida, it's so damn hot, you better have that salt or you're going to be cramping like a bastard.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then you risk the heat.
Yeah.
Can become an issue.
I had a heat stroke in Afghanistan, and that wasn't no joke, man.
Oh, no. I got heat exhaustion out here, not paying attention to my water. That was stupid.
It happens in, like, Gatorade got too much salt in it. If you drink nothing but Gatorade, you're going to dehydrate.
No, you gotta, what was it they used to say, 2 for 1 or 3 to 1 water bottles to Gatorade?
Yeah.
Something like that.
I always would drink 1 Gatorade, then like 3 bottles of water.
So what do you think for the beginning of the year? We're going to see the food prices will start really spiking? Or
Yes.
energy will get us first? Or both?
I think it's just it's all going to hit us all at one time. And, you better get your ammunition. A gun ain't no good without no bullets.
True.
And you better learn how to fight, because you're going to have to fight to get to that gun sometimes. I would rather have a knife up close than I would a gun. Yep. That barrel's got to be pointed at me. I can get that gun and turn it away from me. You grab my knife and you're going to have a bad day.
Oh, yeah. That could end the fight right there. You cut his hand open, he's going to run.
If I got to resort to that, I'm going to do more than that.
Well, yeah. But hypothetically,
yeah,
that might be enough to
you get cut across here, the digits don't work no more.
Mm-hmm.
That's why if you know you're going to get cut, you take it here.
Yep.
Getting cut here, not a big deal. Getting cut here, big deal.
Yep. And
so
it's messy.
So gets a knife, take it. If you know you're going to get cut, take it on the outside of your arm. You can sew that up later. It's not a big deal. You get cut on the inside of your arm, that's a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
That's why you carry a tourniquet.
No,
because you can't go, oh shit, I've been cut, I give up, time out. If somebody's coming, they're trying to kill you, man. Mm-hmm. People are, they just not, I don't know what's going on with people's heads, but they are losing it. I mean, I am really earning my money. Used to, I had to fight once a week, twice a week. Now it's every night.
And it was usually the boys got too drunk or they got too rowdy, not. Now it seems almost like they're deranged. Is it just me?
I think this has got something to do with it, but that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. It's impossible not to catch that. I've had it 3 times already, because working with strippers and, up close, whatever's going around, you're going to catch it. But there ain't nobody never stuck me with no damn needle, and I ain't died yet from it.
No. Yeah, man, I've been various places in the world, just like you, and man, I've got some stuff I didn't want to have, but we're still here, brother.
Yeah, the worst thing I ever got was jungle rot on my feet, and they turned purple, but there ain't no shot for that. Oh, man, that was some mean shit. But that was, well, I had malaria before too, but
the fact that anything turned purple on your body is that's bad.
Yeah, my feet were purple. They were in bad shape. Take care of your feet.
Oh yes, sir. So, folks, we're about at that hour mark, and I know everyone's been busy, but do you all have a question for this fine gentleman who has taken some time to educate us? I mean, I'll tell you what, brother, I'm learning stuff listening to you. This
is literally all I do. I live off grid, and I'm trying to teach people how to make it to the other side. And you're going to have to become hardcore. if you're telling your family you better prepare and you see them out partying and blowing money and say, oh, well, don't come knocking on my door when your ass is starving. That's on you.
Yep. I actually, during one of the hurricanes, I had a family member who I told, y'all need to have, 2 weeks of food, 2 weeks, just basic stuff. You're paranoid. That was the running response. All right, I'm paranoid. The street was flooding going to their house, and they called me. They're like, hey, I need you to come and get us. I'm like, no. She said, what? They said, what do you mean? I said, no. Y'all should have left. You're on low ground. I told you to leave, told you to prep. You did neither. I'm not going to drive my truck in 3 feet of water. I can't see what's on the road. I can't see the road. I'm not going to get sucked into a bayou or run over something and disable my own vehicle because y'all are stupid. Needless to say, I don't speak to that family member much anymore. But
most people are going to die of stupidity. Really, when it hits the fan, they're going to die of stupidity.
And panic.
Yeah. And I don't panic. I get shot at, and I'm like, I just count the shots, especially if it's a revolver. And when I get to number 6, I run over there and beat the hell out of them. I mean, that's just what I do. That's what I do for a living. So it's normal. It's normal for me. What people don't experience maybe once or twice in their life, I experience that shit almost every night. So, I'm down with it. Let's go to war, man. Let's roll.
And folks, even if you don't go and you're not out there fighting daily for work like he does, keep yourself physically fit.
Yeah.
Do exercise. Even if you have a disability, walk, do weights, eat well, whatever you can do.
MMA, man. If you can do MMA, it doesn't matter your age, because you know how to fight on the ground. You know how to fight standing up. MMA is really the way to learn how to do it.
I think you just motivated Dakota. He says, this guy's great. Have him back on soon. I'll be rewatching. I'm going out to buy a good knife now.
Up close? Hell yeah. Up close, I'd rather have a knife than a gun. It don't jam. It don't run out of ammunition. Works great in the dark.
Hey, if you get in a bind in the woods, you tape it to a big stick, and now you got a big long poker instead of a short one.
Yep. Get you a good K-bar. Just get you a good knife. That's the main thing.
Or 3.
Yeah. I always have a lot of blades on me.
Oh, yeah.
When I go somewhere where I have to disarm, like walking through the metal detector, they're like, holy crap. And then, I still have a plastic knife that's made out of this badass plastic. You can get
that
through
polymer poker.
Yep. I walk right through with that, and it works. You hit them. Learn human anatomy with a knife, and you'll end that fight with one cut. Mm-hmm. One cut in the inner thigh, and walk away. They got 3 minutes. Tourniquet that, or they're dead.
Yeah, they have to make decisions quickly if they want to keep fighting or stay alive.
You hit that femoral artery in their leg that's that big around, it's over. You can just walk away.
Dakota, sub to your channel.
Oh, appreciate y'all subscribing to my channel too.
Good. Well, y'all go look for All American. This is a great guy to talk to, y'all. And thank you, man, for joining me tonight.
Anytime, brother. Anytime you want me on, I'll be here. You can see I can run this all night long, bro.
I tell you what, people ask me how I learn what I learn, and I said I listen to folks who know. Just because I got that paper on the wall, and I worked hard for the paper, but you know what? I learned from doing, and I learned from watching and listening, and you get better over time. Yeah. I'm afraid we got a lot of young ones who are going to school and they're like, oh, I got this, whatever. And they don't realize that's not going to help you in an emergency.
No. Practice don't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect.
There you go. That's a good one to take away, y'all. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap this up. All American Hangout for just a second. We can chat off on the background. Folks, God bless all of you. Godspeed. And he just left you with a great one right there. Practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. And slow becomes fast if you do
Yep.
it right. So yeah, that's right, creative. We need street smarts too, not just book smarts. So y'all take care and God bless everyone and pay attention to what's going on. A lot of moving parts like we discussed, and we don't know which one's going to fall first. So y'all be safe out there.
Peace.